Going live in 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Brentwood Board of Education, District Administration, Ms. Gomez and Ms. Hoey, welcome to Brentwood School District's business meeting. Today is April 22nd. I would like to convene today's meeting at 4:36 p.m. So I need a motion to convene general session.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Burgos. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Trustee Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Just to the community that's out there, our intention is to come out at 6:30. We do have a full agenda for tonight's exec and I think a special presentation when we open at 6:30. So with that being said, I hope to see everybody back at 6:30 and enjoy until then. Candace, if you could just session and convene exec session at 4:37 p.m. For the purposes of matters leading to the appointment of a particular person and seeking legal advice from the board's attorney. So could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
By Trustee Felix. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Trustee Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Now, Ms. Chang, if we could get to exec session.
1. You're live.
So welcome back to the Brentwood School District Board of Education Business Meeting, April 22nd. On behalf of the Board of Education, Central Administrators, Council, and District Clerk, welcome, and our deepest apologies for, again, coming back a little later than we anticipated. But I can honestly say that our conversations are incredibly productive and all in the best interest of the district. With that being said, I would like to ask for everybody to please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the Republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all. So, Lochner, we're going to just go to A3. We have a presentation tonight. I think it's exciting that we are talking about this particular topic, especially in lieu of the fact that we've had such a traumatic year. So I really, really thank you and your staff for putting this together and coming forth with this. So if you want to add, tell us what this is about and what we're doing now.
Well, I'm actually going to ask Stacy if you can bring in Mr. Coffin.
Yep.
I'll wait till he's in. We are excited about this presentation. However, there's going to be additional evening that Mr. Coffin will actually speak about, later this month that we'll invite the community to. As you said, Mr. Feliciano, it's an extremely important topic that we speak about publicly, obviously. And I want to thank Mr. Coffin. He's been terrific. He's led the charge on this, along with the entire Special Services Department. But Mr. Coffin specifically has brought in, a speaker to speak with us tonight, and obviously, give us some help along this mental health awareness. And he'll also speak at a certain point about the day in May where he's going to invite the community in to a mental health awareness kind of seminar. So I'm waiting for Mr. Coffin. I think I see his name, but I don't see Mr. Coffin just yet.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. He's incognito tonight.
How are you, Mr. Lochner?
How are you, Mr. Coffin?
I'm good. I'm not sure that my presenter is still with us, though.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Dr. Orris. Good. Thanks for hanging in there. So first of all, I want to thank Mr. Lochner and the board for providing us with this opportunity tonight to do a brief overview of what we do intend on talking about in greater depth on May 10th, when we will set up a Teams Live meeting, which will invite the community in to have a little Q&A. And I'll have a panel of psychologists and social workers assembled as well that are part of my recently created mental health and wellness committee. So without further ado, because I know time is of importance, I would like to introduce Dr. Carol Orris. She is a child and adolescent psychiatrist on the voluntary staff in the Department of Psychiatry. She also holds a master's in education, and she does consultant work with the district as well. So without further ado, Dr. Orris.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Coffin. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk tonight. Obviously, this is going to be kind of short, and I'll be presenting more in May with the rest of your staff. But I guess I just wanted to highlight what has been taking place in this really unbelievable year that we've been experiencing, not only with the medical consequences of this pandemic and the hardship that, so many families have faced, but the mental health aspects of this pandemic, which has affected, just so many segments of our population, not only with anxiety and depression, but also an increase in substance use disorders. So I just wanted to show a little bit about what that looks like right now. And of course, I'll, kind of go into this a lot further when we meet again in May. But if you have the first slide.
Yep, let me put it up.
Great. Right, so if you can see here, this is a comparison of the rates of anxiety and depression prior to the pandemic and then after the pandemic. So in 2019, which is certainly not that long ago, 11% of the adult population in this country was struggling with anxiety and depression. Since the pandemic in January of 2021, 41% of the population is having symptoms of anxiety and depression. That's 4 out of every 10 adults. And I think that it's important to note, of course, that parents' mental health directly affects our children's mental health. So if a child is living with a parent who's struggling with anxiety and depression, they're certainly going to be impacted by that. The next slide, I think. So again, parents probably more than many other people have been struggling with the results of the pandemic. In a University of Oregon study, 63% of parents with young children felt that they had lost emotional support during the pandemic. And certainly, as we all know, parents who have had to maintain their own jobs while their children are at home learning and needing a lot of structure and support has taken a tremendous toll on so many parents and increases stress levels in the home. Next one. And the other group of people, of course, that this has impacted so much are our students, especially those who seem to be learning remotely. The stress of social isolation, less activity, their poor sleep habits, their lack of structure, and certainly the loss of mental health support. Let's not forget that 35% of children in this country get most of their mental health support primarily in school. So if you have students who are not in school and they're at home, they're missing out on those opportunities to have mental health support, and their mental health has been impacted by this. When high school students were surveyed, over half of them reported increased stress from the previous year. And certainly as a child and adolescent psychiatrist who primarily works in schools, I can attest to the fact that students are not only experiencing increased disengagement academically, but a lot of increased stress levels and anxiety levels have really impacted their ability to learn. Again, another topic that I'm going to go into much more detail in when I talk to you again with the staff at Brentwood in May. The next slide. So tonight, I know I just have, a very brief time to talk to you, but I just wanted to kind of give you some strategies to think about. Many of you have already, I'm sure, seen these and looked at them, but making very deliberate efforts to decrease stress at home is very, very important. Very difficult to do in trying times, but it's really important to do that. And so that includes certainly developing as much structure as possible for your child, for your teenager. Having schedules matters a lot, especially sleep hygiene. I find that with teenagers, especially, the loss of sleep because of staying up so late, looking at screens, not turning off devices, has impacted sleep a great deal. Staying engaged in school, again, something that's been very, very difficult for many, many children, but that really is important to stress as much as possible at home. just talking about emotions. I mean, in many families that doesn't happen enough, and being able to talk about your emotions with your child gives them the segue, the opportunity to talk to you about their emotions. And that really is an important thing to be able to do right now. What do you need? How can I help you? You know, what do we all need together as a family? I think that those are important questions to be sharing with one another, to be asking one another, and also sharing coping strategies, which again, I will talk more about when we meet in May. Next one. And this is one of the things I'm going to leave you with tonight, is just a mindfulness exercise. I won't play it now, but it's just something that's very helpful to do at home, especially when stress levels become really intense, or you're arguing, or there's just too much tumult going on at home. This can be very helpful. I wanted to spend a minute talking specifically about teenagers. I think the next one. And the reason that this is so important, and the reason why teenagers in particular have been so impacted, is because of the developmental stage that they're at, right? So adolescence is the time when our children are trying so hard to separate and individuate and develop an identity of their own. And socialization with their peers is such an important component of that, right? And so in this pandemic, the deprivation of that socialization for so many of our teenagers has been kind of interrupting their normal development. And that's created great challenges for many, many teenagers. We also know being social is so important for learning. So the isolation of sitting at home on a computer and not having those relationships in school, even with your guidance counselor, even with the lunch monitor, even with the bus driver. These are relationships that our children really benefit from, because all stakeholders in education are important for the learning of our children and their education. So those relationships have been lost in many cases this year. And that's why this pandemic has had such a significant impact on our teenagers. I think the next one.
Dr. Orris?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have a few minutes to go show that mindfulness video. I think, it may be helpful for the community to just see a brief
Sure.
practice of, kind of engaging that mindfulness.
Sure, absolutely. I think we have to go back. We have to go back, yeah.
Why that happened.
And its volume.
I think you need the volume.
It's all the way up.
I don't think it's working.
You can't hear that?
Mm-mm.
No,
Now,
No, I can, and it's my volume's all the way up. Let me see what Candace is texting. Oh, how do I share my sound, Candace?
You'll probably have to unshare and reshare, and there should be a share sound option.
What's that? Stop it and do it again?
Yeah, just stop sharing and then share again, and there should be something on the screen that allows you to share your volume, share your audio. Something to that effect.
Got it.
nice, Candace.
Where were we? There we are.
Sounds.
I threw one there.
Creator of A Course in Mindful Living, and here is your 2-minute immersion into mindful awareness that you can do anywhere, anytime. So starting off by just taking a single deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, just releasing into this moment. And then you're welcome to gently close your eyes, or you can keep them open if you'd like to. And just notice your body here, being aware of the positioning of your body and also how your body's feeling. If you're feeling any tension or holding anywhere. And if you do notice that, seeing if you can allow that to soften or adjust your body as needed. Then beginning to allow your awareness to widen a bit and noticing the sounds in your environment or outside your environment. Being aware of how sounds have this nature of appearing and disappearing. And also how your mind comes up with different comments or images on these sounds or your experience. And just allowing for all of this. Now begin to gently open your eyes, noticing how there's also visuals here. And then beginning to just smile towards your experience. And noticing how you're feeling now, just taking stock of how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally.
So, exercises like that are actually have direct effects on the brain and can actually hijack and get rid of intense stress and anxiety. It's actually based in biology and in neuroscience. So that's why so many schools now and are doing mindfulness work with students. And again, I'll talk more about the neuroscience behind that in May, but it really is a very important tool to be able to use for young children to adults, for everyone. So the other thing, I guess, I just wanted to mention for our teenagers, especially because they are struggling so much and having such a hard time with so much loss of special events and social events and graduations and everything else that's so much a part of being a teenager. I think it's just really important to give them a lot of affirmation for what they've gone through. That they need to hear that from the adults in their life, that yes, it's okay to feel badly, it's okay to feel grief and disappointment, that there's nothing wrong with that, and to share those emotions with one another is terribly important for our teenagers now more than ever. It's always good to try to just find out what is on their mind. It's very important for them to be able to talk to you. Sometimes just taking a car ride or taking a walk together gives teenagers the opportunity to tell you what they're thinking about, and showing an interest and concern and giving them really specified time when you're not doing anything else is really important. Try to recall how you felt as a teenager and share some of those experiences with them. Can also be an opening for them to talk to you. And that always let them know that if they are experiencing a lot of symptoms, and again, I'll go into this more, later when I talk to you in greater length, but But if they're experiencing severe symptoms that are lasting over 2 weeks of any kind of, withdrawal, mood changes, decline in grades, not socializing with their friends anymore, like not just in the pandemic, but even by texting or sharing videos with one another, any talk of death or suicide. These are things that you really do want to address and encourage them that they need to really speak to a professional. This is not a time for stigma of mental health problems. It's a time to be open and share with one another the fact that we probably all need some help, but especially our teenagers. Our next one, I think. And of course, the reason that it's important to talk to teenagers, especially about the fact that we can be hopeful, right? And that we should talk to them about hope and about the future and about dreams and aspirations, is because of this slide. So this slide is basically taken from a large medical center in Texas. This was a study that was done, I think, quite recently, of over 28,000 employees in a large medical center. And these are the rates of infection of people who were not vaccinated versus people who were vaccinated. And it really is quite dramatic that with these vaccines and with the ability to have vaccinations, and now the CDC is starting to talk about possibly offering vaccinations for teenagers, and they're doing much more testing about that. It gives us a great deal of hope and promise. So that is certainly something that we can look forward to and talk about, and hopefully share joy at some point with one another. But again, I really look forward to talking to you more about all of this when, the Brentwood staff all gets together in May, and we can share a lot more information with you. But I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Orris. We really appreciate that you made yourself available tonight to discuss these very important issues that are really prominent on everybody's mind. And we look forward to a deeper conversation in a few weeks. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're muted, Mr. Lochner.
I apologize. I said, thank you, Dr. Orris. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I saw some of the board members and people on our screen participating. I'm sorry, I was kind of distracted, but I hope that it was really good for you. I was just taking care of a couple of different things. So with that being said, thank you so much, Mr. Coffin and Dr. Orris, for the presentation. On behalf of the board, we look forward to what it is that you're bringing to the district and the staff. So thank you so much for that.
Well, you're very welcome, Mr. Feliciano. And I just want to, in closing, say, to be on the lookout for April 30th, we'll be releasing our first newsletter, Health and Wellness Monthly. And the community can expect to see in there, the initial feature will be of the psychologists and social workers and where we are in the district and our mission to support the district as we transition back to full-time instruction, in-person instruction. And also, we're going to be doing a lot of staff training coming up, traumatic informed somatic and mindfulness techniques that we hope to have them turnkey to staff and to utilize with our students. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. Brentwood, in my time here, has always proven itself to be a resilient community. And I look forward to being part of that resilience moving forward as we turn this adversity into opportunity.
Can we make a flyer available in our school for our students?
Yes.
With services or whatever we're offering and that mindful thing, anything. I'm not saying we have to hand it out, but something like leave on a table, maybe a student will pick it up if they, if they want to read it.
Yes, we can do that.
Yes, and many of the services that we do offer, not just internally here in Brentwood, but also externally, for instance,
Right.
Service League, for example, that actually is, that information is available in all of our guidance offices on the secondary level.
Good.
And that's what our social workers, obviously, as Julie knows, that's what our social workers do also, and give out that information.
Mr. Coffin, again, thank you on behalf of the board for everything that you, your staff, and the entire special education department is doing. I think that the support that you're going to provide in the next couple of weeks and the upcoming year are absolutely critical. So thank you again on behalf of the entire Board of Education.
You're welcome, and thank you for your support.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Take care, Sean.
All right, take care, Rich.
So we did make a change to the agenda for the community members on D1F, and I'll explain that when I get to that resolution. In the meantime, if I can just continue with the consent agenda. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, D1A through B1M. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Felix. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, D2A through B2R. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Felix. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, C1A and C1B. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Safiri. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Holder Daniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. We're now heading towards the D items. We are on page 10, D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves of certificated personnel as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. We are now on page 13, D1B, appointments, resignations, and leaves of non-certificated personnel as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. If I could just take a moment, just because we are on this particular item, I just wanted to just just make mention of a particular retirement. And I know that everybody who retires from the school district has put their heart and soul into the position, and they are so deserving of the time coming to them, and appreciate everything that they have done for the district and for the students. But I know I couldn't let this one pass. Ms. Loshiner, I'm sure, feels the same way. We haven't even spoken about this,
No,
and I
but
see
know who you're
him,
talking about.
and I see him nodding his head. So on behalf of the entire Brentwood School Board, on behalf of the district central administration, and everybody who has had contact with this particular woman, I just wanted to take the moment to send a special thank you to Miss Marie Rivera, who is on our board agenda for retirement at the end of this school year. Miss Rivera, and I'm sure that everybody, I think everybody out there knows who she is, has just been a pillar in this district and in this community. I don't know if there's anybody who could ever replace, this particular person. And listen, I'm not discounting what everybody else has contributed, but there's just, there are people who are remarkable. There are people who are outstanding and special. And from the bottom of my heart, I believe that this is one of those people. And we hope that you will have a wonderful retirement. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the service that you've provided for your very, very, very lengthy career here in this district. So Ms. Rivera, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, congratulations. And again, we're going to miss you dearly. Yep. So, so we are going to, Mr. Lochner, is there anything you want to add to that? I know that
actually,
this was, we
no,
didn't talk about this.
Yeah, I tell you, Marie is just like you said, one of those special people. I was actually going to ask the board if we could recognize her next month. So I was hoping we could bring her in publicly to recognize her. But yeah, Miss Rivera, I'm going to miss her terribly. And she's just, I tell you, she's a classy person. She's kind. She loves this community like no other person, and gives her heart and soul every single day. And she cares about the students. She cares about the families. This past year with the pandemic, the time that she has spent giving out food, she's made it her mission to give the laptops to families. And I was just at East K yesterday, and she actually had a laptop with a hotspot, and a parent was going to drive over later that afternoon, and she spend time with that parent, teaching that parent who probably was monolingual Spanish, was unfamiliar with a laptop, unfamiliar with a hotspot, and she will spend as much time as possible with that parent till they're completely comfortable with that laptop and hotspot, as well as the student. She gives her heart and soul to everyone, and plus she's also a magnificent president of a union. She always, when she speaks with me, she calls them, my people, and she does it in such a loving way. We'll go to the mat for any TA, any monitor. We'll bend over backwards to help any one of her people, because she cares so deeply about them and believes in their mission. And I think that she's done a tremendous job with the TAs and monitors in this district, and they are an integral part of what we do. They're an integral part of our success. The TAs and monitors are critical to the management of the school, but also in classrooms, the TAs are phenomenal. And she takes such pride in that. And I tell you what, she really is a special, special person. And we're gonna miss her terribly, terribly.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're going to continue then on with D1C. And that is the approval of work days for Ms. Beverly Wright, substitute administrator, as proposed on the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Safiri. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. D1D, approval for workdays for Ms. Michelle LeBlanc, substitute administrator, as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Holder Daniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. D1E, approval for additional workdays for Mr. Jose Suarez, substitute administrator, as proposed on the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Trustee, motion by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Safiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. D1F, we are going to amend, and I am going to read the amended resolution. We're removing D1F as it currently sits on the agenda, and we are going to replace it as follows. The heading will read D1F, Administrative Table of Organization, comma, Elementary Assistant Principal. Resolution reads as follows. Resolution reads as follows. Be it resolved, a motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as follows. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves Ms. Kathy Hill as Elementary Assistant Principal for a 4-year probationary period beginning as of April 26th, 2021 through April 25th, 2025, at a salary set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, IPSO. So everybody has that. So a motion would be in order to approve D1F as amended.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Burgos. Could I have a second, please?
I abstain. I abstain.
Second by trustee Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Safiri abstains. We have 6 yay. Motion passes. We are now going to D1G. Approval of workdays for Mr. John Nipsel, retired production supervisor, as proposed on the agenda. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Felix. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. You know, I failed to congratulate Ms. Hill. Ms. Hill, congratulations on your appointment as assistant principal. We are now on D1I, recommended budget for
You do
2021.
H, yeah?
Wait a minute, you didn't do H.
D1H.
Okay, D1H, sorry. Thank you so much. D1H, Administrative Table of Organization, Department Head of Special Education. You know, if I could read that one, maybe I will. So be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Ms. Christine Lindsay as Department Head of Special Education for a 4-year probationary period beginning as of May 1st, 2021 through April 30th, 2025, at a salary set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals Supervisors Organization, IPSO. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Moore. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Gonzalez Prescott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations, Ms. Lindsay. D1I, recommended budget for 2021-2022 school year. There is some information that's going to be added into this because it was left blank during this presentation of the draft. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the superintendent's recommendation to adopt the 2021-2022 budget in the amount of $454,813,370 with a tax levy of $111,568,807, which does not exceed the statutory tax levy cap. And be it further resolved, the district clerk is directed to include the adopted budget amount in the legal notice and in a proposition for the annual election and budget vote to be held on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Ms. O'Connor, can you confirm that those were the amounts and that I read it correctly?
Yes, you read it correctly.
Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Felix. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by trustee Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Ms. Safiri abstains. Motion has 6-0-1 abstention. Motion passes. Just for further clarification, we are having a budget hearing on May 6th. And it's at that time that we will be discussing what we are proposing within this year's budget. So again, I believe, Ms. O'Connor, May 6th.
Yeah, May 6th.
May 6th is the budget hearing, and we will have details as to what we're proposing for next year. Just wanted to just throw this side note, the amounts that were given today reflect a 0% tax levy increase on the school district side. So it's a 0% increase for this upcoming school year. Mr. Lochner, I believe that, so we're going to E1A student enrollment figures as proposed on the agenda. We are at F17 miscellaneous items for information only as proposed on the agenda. And G1A, Mr. Lochner, do you have any new business to talk about or anything that you want to say to the community now?
Well, I mean, I'll reiterate just briefly what we spoke about last night in our workshop, that we will be returning students to 5-day instruction, those that answered a survey sent out last weekend, as well as those that called their individual school front offices or even central office, and they checked off, yes, we'll begin returning them to school next week. So I'll briefly go over that. On April 28th, we will have the 9th and 12th graders, 9th and 12th graders at the high school will return for 5-day week instruction, and the freshman center will also return for 5-day a week instruction on April 28th. On April 29th, the following day, we will have grades 1, 2, and 3 and grade 6 return. And that's again next Thursday. They will all return for 5-day instruction. And then the following week, that's Monday, we'll have the remaining grades. That's grade 4 and 5, grades 7 and 8, and grades 10 and 11. They will return to 5-day instruction. There may be some exceptions to that, and there may be some remote students that would have some schedule changes. And if that is the case, prior to making those changes, building administration will be in touch with the parents as well as the student to see if that's something that they would like before they return to school. So we're obviously real excited about this change of event, and we're looking forward to having upwards of over 4,000 students return to us for full-time instruction. So we're excited about that, and that begins next week. I do have some other announcements. Congratulations to Kaylin St. Victor, who has been involved in Girls Inc. since the freshman center, so for the last 4 years, and is the winner of a Girls Inc. scholarship and the Long Island Lynx talent show, and will be featured in a campaign for Macy's Incorporated. So she's going to be featured in a campaign, really quite amazing. I also want to let the community know the VFW Hall, the VFW Post rather, they started, as well as the Brentwood Parade Committee, and I know some of the board members were also involved in this. They actually really did something I think that was quite beautiful and touching. They went back to all of the conflicts that the United States have been involved in, as far back as the Vietnam War, as well as the most recent wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And unfortunately, we've lost, I believe it's 24 community members, or 23 or 24 community members during that time span. And what the VFW Hall, along with lots of generous people who donated to their cause, they actually created 2 really beautiful vinyl posters and actually banners. I shouldn't say posters.
How
They're
many did you
vinyl,
say?
20, it's
Yeah,
23 or
thought-
24. I was
I thought
talking
you
to
said
Andy.
2. Yes, it's 20 something.
Yes. Yeah, I heard 2 different numbers. So there are vinyl banners that have a picture of the service person. It could be serviceman and a servicewoman. A picture of that person along with a little of the dates of when they passed away and the conflict that they served in. And they will be displayed along Washington Avenue, beginning the first week in May to the week after Memorial Day. They'll be displayed on the telephone poles beginning at Suffolk Avenue and Washington Avenue and heading north. Then we also have smaller banners. They're, I believe, 2 feet by 3 feet, and they will
Yep.
be hung up in the high school, by the high school memorial. We actually have a memorial right outside the Polio Lecture Hall, and we're going to display those banners at the same time. And I really, I just think it's was a beautiful gesture. And I know the parade committee, I know Ms. Safiri and I guess other members of the board were involved.
Valerie Rube was a big part of it also.
Valerie
That was
Rube, I
like one of
know.
her ideas, believe it or not.
Right,
So
right.
you can't forget Val Rube for that one.
Val Rube too, and lots of community members who donated and other people who donated. And I think it's just a wonderful gesture to the families.
Wait till everybody, they are beautiful. They
Yeah, no,
are.
they really, I have
They're
the,
gorgeous.
yeah, I have the high
They're
school
very
ones here.
touching, and these are students from like 1965.
Right,
Some of them are on the banner. It's just very, it's very touching.
yeah.
They're really nice. I'm
Yeah,
telling
it
you.
really is a special, tribute to them and to their families. We also, just a couple of more announcements, if I may. The town of Islip hosted a virtual poster contest, and an Oak Park student, who is actually a remote student, who is in Miss Bouchard's 3rd grade class, she actually won the Earth Day art contest and won $250 gift card to Barnes and Noble. And I'm just looking for, there it is. It's Andrea Perla Ponce. And really, really outstanding. And congratulations to Andrea. We're really proud of her. That's quite an accomplishment. I also wanted to let you know the bilingual hotline will be opening this next Wednesday, April 28th. It will be open from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. Well, we'll post this on the website, but the number is 631-972-1375. And we'll post some information on Parent Square, and that's obviously available to any parent or student who has some questions that we can answer. And that's in the evening. Obviously, when people return home from work, there's lots of questions that they may have, and we've opened up this hotline. There are also 2 semifinalists from Twin Pines. They wrote PSAs, public service announcements, and they won a contest. They were semifinalists in a PSE&G Long Island AM powered student challenge. Really terrific. And they are 2 students in Mrs. Cobb's class, and they are Nicole Soriano and Jessica Valverde. So congratulations to them as well. And that's it for my announcements. Obviously, we mentioned yesterday, Purple Up Day was a huge success. Again, we'll thank Rhonda Young and all of the people who worked on that, and all of the staff members and students who participated. It really was a lot of fun, and obviously a great tribute to the children of so many servicemen and women who serve here in Brentwood. And we'll post a video of everyone who participated, or not everyone, but lots of pictures will be posted through our PR firm. We hope to have that out on Facebook in the next couple of days. So,
Mr. Loshner, I have a question on the banners that will be put up. Is there something that could be done permanently for those that we've lost in the various wars? Because I know we have a Vietnam War memorial in front of the Puleo
Right.
lecture hall. Is this something that we can do to make something permanent for those that we've lost in all of the other wars?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point, Ms. Moore. I know the ROTC is working on something, so I'll get back to you on that. And I did speak to Sergeant Hannah not too long ago and the Colonel about putting some type of wall and designating a wall in the high school to commemorate all of the fallen servicemen and women. We do have throughout the district, you mentioned the memorial in front of the Puleo Lecture Hall. That's correct. We also have some pictures in the front of the Sondling. They were the first, unfortunately, the first soldiers that fell in the Afghanistan war in the early 2000s. But yeah, we're looking to put something in one place.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lochner, I know that
One
this
minute, we
is,
forgot to shout out to Andy Como too for the
Yeah.
doing all the work for the
Yes.
flag.
Did I
Please.
mention his name?
No, you didn't.
I-
You
how
didn't
did
mention.
I was mentioning as I'm talking to myself.
I
I'm
know.
sorry. Andy Como obviously is the really a driving force
He
behind
did.
this
He
as
did
well.
mostly. He did all the legwork.
He
Yeah.
really did, and he's taking a great deal of pride in it. He's actually the one who dropped off the posters to my office a couple of days back, and he's put a lot of love and time into this. And I wasn't sure if I mentioned it, and if I did, I didn't do it appropriately because he really has done a tremendous job.
Mr. Lochner, I just had something that I know that you might not have the answer, but in terms of vaccination availability, I know that we get updates from the county, and we're still trying to make sure that our members of our community are vaccinated. Do you have any updates in terms of the sites? I know that you do send updates to the district or district-wide email. Do you have any new information in terms of the vaccination sites and where we can send our community members?
Rich, I'm not
Yes.
sure if you know this, but they're not taking now. You don't even need an appointment anymore. I don't know if you know. And the
A lot of-
DMV, you can walk right into Department of Motor Vehicle, and they give you the shot. They do everything. No more appointments are needed.
Yes, I've heard that as well, Cindy,
Yes.
but I did want to tell you, I sent something out via Parent Square today that went out to the community. And I'm going to ask the indoor soccer place. Okay, Maria,
La Espiguita.
one more time.
La Espiguita.
La Escatip. Okay, I'm going to do a hatchet job on it. I actually have been practicing, but not in public. So, but yeah, the indoor soccer facility, the county is coming over there and they're beginning this Saturday. And I sent something out to the community. They're actually taking appointments. I believe it's upwards of 500 per day. And they really want our community residents to take advantage of that. Obviously, our staff members, our employees can do that, but also community members, it's available. But I just received a phone call, but I was in the middle of a couple of meetings from a gentleman from Walmart who I'm going to call back first thing in the morning. He actually left a message for me. Walmart wants to give out vaccinations to the Brentwood community. And he left a message with one of the secretaries that they actually would be willing to come into the schools and give out vaccinations. So I'll have more information. I'll send that to the board tomorrow after I get some information, and we'll send that out to the community to see exactly when we can arrange this. So that's really obviously exciting. They're right here in Islandia, and hopefully they can come over and do it on one of the campuses.
Mr. Lochner, so can we just go over what you just said in terms of, so vaccinations will be available beginning when at La Espiguita?
Okay. Do you have that?
They had appointments available for Saturday. They had over 700 appointments that are already booked. On Tuesday, they also have another pod from Northwell Health that's coming in from 9 to 2, 9 to 3. The link, I'll share it with you so you can share it with the community. I think Suffolk County and also New York State is also focusing on Brentwood and communities of color in Long Island because of the fact that our numbers are still high, and we need to continue to vaccinate and help, do a herd in Brentwood.
So it's important for our community to understand that nothing is going to be asked of you in terms of, documentation, in terms of, residency documentation. And I think that, even ID is not going to, be, doesn't need to be an official, New York State ID. What we're trying to do is make sure that the community comes out en masse to get the vaccinations being offered. Do you know when those vaccinations are going to start at La Espiguita, Maria? Is it this Saturday?
Yes, they have about 700 people that are already booked for Saturday, and then they're going to do another one on Tuesday, which is great because, we are trying to help more people get access. And you mention that, New York State license is not required. I had people that have unfortunately are undocumented, and they're just bringing in their ID from their country, passport, whichever, just to say that this is, a picture ID, and that helps.
Absolutely. Ms. Loshino, can we have that information put on our Facebook page? I don't know if it already is there, but I know that even this goes out in Spanish translation. And can we have that translated so that we can get the information out to our community members?
Is a matter of fact,
Maria, you did need an appointment for Saturday though, correct?
Yes, they booked about 700 appointments.
So there are no
and
more
they
appointments available.
Not on Saturday, there's some on Tuesday.
Okay.
they did, the county called me and sent me this information earlier this week. They did ask not to put it on, to send it out to the community. That's why I sent it out through Parent Square.
Okay.
But just this afternoon, they did call and say you can put it on social media. So now
Okay.
we're going to put it out on social media. I guess they were concerned about getting overwhelmed, and they also wanted it just specific to the Brentwood community. So if you put it out on social media, obviously other communities would be jumping on. I do have another announcement. Though, you want to continue with that? I don't know if Maria, do you have?
No, Ms. Loshino, I just wanted to make the point that I just wanted to reemphasize the point that Mr. Gonzalez-Prescott was making, is that unfortunately, communities like Brentwood, where there are a lot of undocumented residents, they're part of our community. There is a fear that there's going to be, ramifications by coming forth and being on some kind of list. We've been given assurances that this is not going to ever be used in any way or shape or form in terms of, their residency concerns. We just need for our residents to come out and continue to get vaccination, because even to this day, we still lag behind, and our numbers are much higher than you would think they are, considering the news in New York State.
Yes, and I agree. And yes, they've made a point of telling me that every single time. So I'm glad you've mentioned that a number of times. Very important for our residents to know. I do have just one more announcement. We're actually excited. We're starting what's called the Unified Basketball League. Actually, our coach, head coach, will be John Rube. Yeah, we're really excited about this. And there's also a couple of other staff members that are going to be helping out. And it's a basketball league that actually combines both special education students and general education students. They'll actually be playing together and actually competing against other school districts. So it's a unified basketball league. This is our first year involved, and we're really excited about it. It actually begins this Monday. And I want to thank really all of the coaches that I just mentioned, and obviously our new athletic director, Mr. Herrera, who's actually also out in front on this thing. And, Mr. Rube obviously has been a moving force behind it as well. So we're real excited about it. And if you have, begins on Monday, but in terms of when the games begin, I'm not so sure. But, look out.
If
for
it's in 2 weeks, they start.
2 weeks?
I think
Okay.
about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, Mr. Loshner, the only thing I want to say is this is actually the second year that we tried to do this, because this was supposed to be in
Right.
place last year. And I remember talking to Coach Rube about this possibility. Unfortunately, because of COVID, all of that had to be suspended.
Right.
But what exciting news for that student population that oftentimes struggles to have itself mainstreamed in this kind of activity. So great job.
Yeah.
I'm so super excited.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. And obviously a big shout out too to Mr. O'Reilly. He actually, started that also last year. Now, I also want to congratulate our boys and girls soccer team, varsity soccer team. They both made the playoffs this year, which is real exciting. They competed against Comac yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't come out our way. But I tell you what, our boys soccer team year in and year out is just fantastic. And we're so proud of the girls soccer team for making the playoffs this year. They practice with intensity and they play with real fire. So real proud of the girls to make the playoffs this year.
Coach Martino,
Coach Martino is really
he's
fantastic.
the man.
The coaching staff on both the boys and the girls, there's a reason we're successful. Our kids are incredibly talented, but our coaching staff are really dedicated, and it shows year in and year out.
Absolutely.
Great. Listen, so without further ado, I would like to see if we can ask for an adjournment of tonight's meeting. Could I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Don't we have questions?
We have one question, and I did respond to the district clerk that I will be sending that response via email in the morning.
Motion.
Trustee Gonzalez Prescott with a motion. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Trustee Felix. Members, because if you just turn on your microphone so that we could do this properly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Education, Mr. Loshner, Ms. O'Connor, Ms. Thomas, and Ms. Hoey, your efforts are always appreciated. And we hope to see you back on May 6th for our budget. Actually, it's our budget meeting for 2021. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night
Bye.
now.